Negotiations resume in Qatar today over a potential ceasefire deal in Gaza and the prevention of a wider war between Israel and Iran. The talks include mediators from the U.S., Egypt, and Qatar, as well as representatives from Israel. A delegation representing Hamas declined to attend today's meeting. CBS News foreign correspondent Ramy Inocencio is following this for us from Tel Aviv.
Lindsay, hi there. Even with Hamas not in the room, there is still some space for progress. It's just that the room has gotten just a little bit smaller. And just to reconfirm, Hamas was in touch with CBS News this afternoon, reconfirming and saying that it is not sending anyone, quote, no one from our side is in the negotiations. As for what Hamas wants, it has been saying all this week that it wants a return to a proposal from July 2nd that it accepted, but that it blames Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for, one, not replying to, and also blaming him for wanting to expand the war in Gaza and then to expand the war across the Mideast. They also blame him for being the biggest block to any kind of ceasefire. But if Israel goes back to that July 2nd proposal, Hamas is saying that they could return to the proverbial or even the physical negotiating table. Now, the talks have started. The governments represented are the United States, Israel, Qatar, and Egypt. Qatar and Egypt, of course, being the mediating countries there. U.S. Special Envoy to the Mideast, Brett McGurk, is one of them. The U.S. Spy Chief, Bill Burns, another. Israel Spy Chief, David Barnea. Egypt Spy Chief, Qatar's Prime Minister. And apparently, the Israeli delegation has been given, quote-unquote, significant leeway from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to conduct talks. And whenever these talks end, and we don't know when they will end right now, Egypt and Qatar will then get in touch with Hamas representatives based in Doha to tell them exactly what happened. As for the mood here in Israel, as we wait for any kind of word out of these talks, for people who want a ceasefire, the words coming out of their mouths are last chance. Last chance for a ceasefire, last chance to get a deal done, last chance to bring hostages home. The U.S. ambassador to Israel, Jack Liu, earlier today said, time is always important, but time is particularly of the essence. Now, we don't know how many more chances we have to bring this negotiation back to a successful conclusion. And Lindsay, tonight, they're talking about a last chance march here in Tel Aviv, which we will be at.
Ramy, thank you. For more on today's talks, I want to bring in Natasha Hall. She's a senior fellow with the Middle East program for the Center for Strategic and International Studies. Thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
So today is a convening day, not a decision day. What can we expect, and what are the sticking points for both sides?
Well, I think there's high-level sticking points, and I think that there's other more sort of technical, logistical issues at play. At the higher level, you have a Netanyahu government who is heavily dependent on a far-right coalition that is firmly against any kind of ceasefire with Hamas and in Gaza more generally. And that could lead to the collapse of his government and frankly, the end of Netanyahu's political career. On the other side of it, you have dozens of people dying every day in Gaza, and you have a movement in Hamas that also needs to deliver for its own people and is facing its own existential issues when it comes to ceasefire negotiations. At the more technical level, you have things like who is going to control certain parts of Gaza? When is Israel going to withdraw? You have issues regarding prisoner exchanges for hostages and things like that that will probably need to be ironed out as well.
So Hamas won't be at the table, but they've been using Qatar and Egypt as conduits throughout this process. So what do these talks actually look like? And is the fact that they're not at the table today going to impact anything?
Right. I mean, I should note that Hamas was never meant to be at the table. Typically what happens in these negotiations is there are negotiations and then the mediators go to Hamas with sort of the deck of options. And that's exactly what's happening today. I think there's been a lot of reporting about how Hamas will not be present. Hamas's basic external headquarters are in Doha. That's where Ismail Haniyeh, the lead negotiator, was based out of and living before he was assassinated in Tehran. So this is not sort of an outlandish type of issue or sort of an obstacle here. But what Hamas has said is that they don't want to iron out more of these details beyond what was already negotiated on July 2nd through this sort of Biden-led proposal. And so that they hope that there won't be more sticking points that lead to a delay in the decision-making and a final agreement.
Very fragile next few hours. Natasha Hall, thank you.
Thank you.